Okay. Hi, my name is Marley, and I'm that person, meaning I'm allergic to gluten. So my job is to make your life, my life, and just about everyone's life a little harder to deal with. Now, I'm going to start this presentation off well by making you all really hungry. Okay, so all of these things have gluten: mac and cheese, breadsticks from Olive Garden, the bread at Outback, chicken Alfredo, Cinnabon, cookie dough ice cream, my personal favorite, saltines. I could eat those every day. Now, I've put some more up here. I could tell you all day that these things have gluten, but you're still not gonna know what gluten is. And the Cheddar Bay biscuits from my Robin. I'm really upset. Like, oh my gosh, my favorite thing. So, gluten is a protein found in everything good. Now, props to Mr. Swartfager. I didn't pay attention in biology, but I think you take gliadin and you take gluten in, you go like this a couple times, and you get gluten. It also looks like that bread basket. It's found in wheat, preservatives, MSG. Now, there's 3 reasons you would be gluten-free. Reason number 1 is you have a wheat allergy. Plain and simple, you're allergic to wheat. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Tom, who has celiac disease. And celiac disease is genetic, so your parents will give it to you. Now, when Tom eats gluten, it gets into his small intestine, and these little hairs in his stomach are like, no, gluten. They freak out, they send antibodies, and he just gets really upset because his body doesn't know what to do with it. Now, the third column is where I come in. It gets really tricky. Again, my job makes everything hard. It's not a disease, it's a state of genetics, and if ignored, it can trigger celiac disease. That's why people with gluten intolerance have to be careful on what they eat, because it can lead to more serious things. Now, what happens if I eat gluten? I get really bad headaches, I get really bad stomach aches and cramps, I get bloated, I turn into this, evil person, I get really angry, kind of feels like death, but it works out in the end, I don't die. So, this is my story. This is me at 3 years old, holding babies and eating gluten, not the other way around. And growing up, I would always have stomach aches, but we never knew what it was from. We tried cutting out dairy, it never worked. This is me at 8 years old, and we went on a trip to Washington, D.C., and I was still having stomach aches. And my mom was like, this isn't normal, you shouldn't be sick, we're trying to have fun. So we got a blood test. We found out that I had a gluten intolerance, and that's where it stopped. This was me a couple weeks ago on my birthday, and 8 years later, I'm still going strong, no gluten. And it was actually my New Year's resolution to have 0 gluten, which is hard. I cried a couple times, so it's day 267 on the no gluten island. All hope is lost. If I eat one thing, it's done, guys. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be bad. It's not gonna turn out well. Now, the good side of it is, as years have gone on, it's become more popular, more options become available. So I eat a salad probably every day. Bacon, all of it, all of the bacon. Some really good restaurants are Picasso's. Red Robin has really good gluten-free buns, and Olive Garden actually has really good gluten-free pasta. Now, some of my favorite gluten-free brands are Udi's, Vans, and Amy's, which makes really good pizza. You find these things at Sprouts, Whole Foods, and Safeway has the best gluten-free options. It's insane. So these are alternatives to gluten-free foods that taste the same. Sand, bird seeds, dirt, 10-year-old lip gloss, empty Capri Sun pouch, and a pane of glass. I'm not kidding. So I'm pretty social. I go out sometimes. And even today, in those little goodie bags we got, there was a bag of cookies. And I was like, no thanks, that has gluten. So if people offer me pretzels at a party or something, I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, I would have gotten you something. It's like, no, you wouldn't. It's okay, stop lying. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when people use gluten-free as a cool fad, when it isn't. So Miley Cyrus went on a gluten-free kick a couple years ago, and Dr. Oz is always talking about how it can make you lose weight. It won't. I mean, it will, but you have to exercise with it. If you just think, oh yeah, I'll just cut gluten out and I'll lose a bunch of weight. No, you have to exercise, and you have to eat good gluten-free things, not carb-filled stomach fillers, gross things that just add a bunch of preservatives and a bunch of sugars, the stuff you don't want. You gotta eat your fruits, your VeggieTales, your lettuce, all of the lettuce. Some bad things are like pre-made stuff, so pre-made bread, pre-made flours, things that are manufactured. So there's 38-ish people in this room right now, so 1 in 10 people are gluten sensitive, so maybe you should become a little more sensitive to gluten sensitive people. Thank you.